What are the initial items I need to get qualified for SBA financing? So you can actually put together a 504 with a 7A together. We call it a companion 7A. There's really got to be creative on structuring these deals, but if it's a solid deal, we're gonna get it funded. We got a good team. We've got a network of bankers that have been doing SBA, all their lives. Knowing that and navigating that is the key. Also knowing, that you're capped at 5 million in total SBA proceeds unless you do a 504 green.
Welcome to the Investor Financing Podcast, where we interview real estate investors and lenders so you can learn all the secrets to getting your projects funded and scale your portfolio. And now, your host, Bo Eckstein.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Investor Financing Podcast, and I'm your host, Bo Eckstein. And today on today's show, we're going to talk about what are the initial items I need to get qualified for SBA financing. Whether it's a 504 or a 7A. And so 7A can work on real estate as well as the 504. So sometimes it makes sense to go 7A, sometimes it makes sense to go 504. It's really about kind of getting the information, learning about the business type, the real estate collateral itself, and then figuring out from there. But essentially, to really quickly size up a SBA loan request, if it's an existing business that you're purchasing or you want to refinance, we need 3 years of previous tax returns, business tax returns, 3 years of personal tax returns, a Form 413, which is the SBA personal financial statement. We need a sources and uses, breakdown of where the money and funds are going to be allocated. If it's a construction deal, obviously you're going to have the breakdowns there. If you're buying a business, working capital, items like that would be broken down into this sources and use document. It's very, very easy to complete the sources and uses document. And then a resume on the sponsor or the borrower. That's really what we need to get started. It really starts with an initial conversation. What are you doing? Are you building self-storage? You converting an office building to a hotel, right? There's many different uses. Any kind of owner-user type business, SBA can finance that real estate and that business. Now, on a 504 loan, 504 can only finance the hard assets itself. It could be machinery, real estate, but the intangible or the blue sky, as we call it, which is kind of like the business, right? Like that isn't a hard asset, can't be financed with the 504. However, it can be financed with the 7A. So you can actually put together a 504 with a 7A together. We call it a companion 7A. So there's all these different ways of structuring, even with seller finance. If the seller is going to finance a portion of the if it's a business acquisition. So we see that a lot. And so there's really got to be creative on structuring these deals. But if it's a solid deal, we're going to get it funded. We got a good team. We've got a network of bankers that have been doing SBA, all their lives. So I know when I'm sizing up a deal, I'm going to talk to the right banks because certain banks have appetites for certain types of projects. And that's everything, not just SBA. So a lot of times we'll get some like unique special use properties and some lenders and banks just say, hey, no, we don't understand this business. We're not going to fund it. So you got to really have carve out a niche where where to take these loan requests to, because even though it qualifies from an SBA standpoint, some banks just won't make loans on certain businesses or certain commercial real estate types. So knowing that and navigating that is the key. Also knowing, that you're capped at 5 million in total SBA proceeds unless you do a 504 green. But really getting started, again, very simple. Personal financial statement, Form 413, sources and uses, tax returns for the previous 3 years, personal and business, interim financial statement on the business, And that is enough to really dive in and get an indicative term sheet to see if it's, a viable transaction. And really, is there cash flow to cover the debt, right? Are the sponsors qualified to run this business? They have experience similar or in a business similar to this that can justify this. And so those are the kind of first vetting questions what we do. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I try to bring you short, valuable tips on all different financing types. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Please subscribe, like, and share with your colleagues. Thank you so much.